Well, today we're in Luke chapter 19, verses 1 through 10. It's a really interesting passage. Jesus is passing through Jericho, and the crowds evidently are informed and they're excited, and there's a great number of people that want to see him. And so we're reading from Luke, the 19th chapter, beginning in verse number 10, as Jesus had entered and passed through Jericho, that ancient city, and behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus. And when the King James says, behold, it's something that would demand our attention. And so he says he was a chief tax collector. And in those days, we just summarize it by saying he was really a very bad guy. That's at least what folks would think of him. And so in verse number 3, and even Zacchaeus, the tax collector, desired to see Jesus. And he gets in front of the crowd, and he's around at a short nature. He's a small man. And so the Bible goes on to say that he climbed up a tree, a sycamore tree. And if you think about that, how surprising and rather odd to see a grown man. He's not a cat, that climbed up a tree. This would have caused those that seen him to kind of, be a little bit stunned, wouldn't it? And so let's get on down, though. Jesus is passing through, and I think it's rather interesting that Jesus knew exactly who this man was, and evidently, I think he never met him, but I think we ought to understand that Jesus knows who we are, even if we're a man that's not in the church and a man that's just down in the bottom of society, a man that would society would think he was a scum. I mean, that's how they thought about those fellows, those tax collectors. And as you get down there, the crowd in verse number 7 and 8 begins to murmur, and you can just hear the grumbling. You see, it's just like something going over a bridge, making all kind of noise. As the bridge sort of trembles, and so they're complaining and griping because Jesus, of all the people in the crowd, decides to spend some time at his place. Now, here's the thing I want you to think about. In verse number 10, let's go ahead and get verse number 9 too, because this would have been really a heartwarming statement. I'd like to hear Jesus say that more often than a whole lot of people, wouldn't you? Because he says to Zacchaeus, today salvation has come to your house. What a statement. I mean, what a grand statement. But then Jesus says, and I think that we all ought to get this, he said, I came to seek and to save that which is lost. That's why he came. And let me just say this. Jesus didn't come for a social visit. He didn't come to just enjoy fellowship. He didn't go to Zachariah's house to just drop by for conversation. And what he's saying there is, listen, the reason I came to people like Zacchaeus and the rest of the world is to come and to seek and to save that which is lost. Fundamental. We ought not to forget it. See you tomorrow.